How many buffers are too many buffers? We're going to find that out today. I am so far down the wormhole with this stuff after the last video. Let's dive a little bit deeper. What's up, everybody? Anthony here with Reflection Concept, reflectionconcept.com. Greatly appreciate you checking out the video. Also, would greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. This isn't a big threshold, but it's a threshold that I'm proud of. I crossed over 200 subscribers to the channel. That was more than I thought that I would get, because every time I make a video, I think nobody's going to watch it. That's just the facts. There's always this hopefully healthy amount of fear involved in doing something like this. And music's the same way, art's the same way. Speaking of art, hop over to the website. It's reflectionconcept.com if you want to check out any of my paintings. Have some clothing on there, some hoodies, some t-shirts. As I see myself in the camera here wearing the Nike golf hoodie. I'm not selling these, but I am getting ready for golf season here in Pittsburgh. The weather, well, I got out 3 times already this year, which is cool, in March, but I just can't wait for that weather to break to get out there just about every weekend. I am an avid golfer. If you've ever talked to me in person, the topics probably come up because I'm either like waiting for golf season to happen or I'm in it and I'm totally excited about it. Really, I'm like in love with that sport. So hop over to the website, reflectionconcept.com, and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate that. Really, really do. So 2 videos ago, I talked about the 29 Pedals EUNA buffer at the front of my signal chain and the color box at the end of my signal chain. This is going to be kind of a part 2 that I never ever planned to even make, which is funny. When I was recording, that was 2 videos ago. The last video was talking about my wonderful Empire 58P basses, which I love. While I was filming that video, a piece of gear showed up at my doorstep. And it's funny because I edited it out of the video, but at one point I heard something and I was like, what is that? It was actually FedEx dropping something off on my front porch. And it was the Shure wireless system, the GLX6 I think I got that model number right. Hopefully that went into focus right there. So I've been just like, I'm just trying to eliminate cables to anywhere that I can. This thing had rave reviews from people online and people that I know. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to like mess around with a cheap, whatever, $100 or $200 wireless transmitter thing. I'm going to go with the real deal, the Shure. It was kind of on the expensive side, but it seems rock solid. And so far it's been great. This thing sent me down a rabbit hole of trying to, is it a rabbit hole or a wormhole? I don't know what the proper term is at that point. Maybe you could use both of them. Either way, it sent me down a path of really, really thinking about where I'm spacing these buffers out in my signal chain, because this also has one in it. And upon using it, I was like, oh, it sounds really good. So what I've done for the time being, we're going to experiment in the video here. I think what I'm digging is this at the front of the chain and the EUNA at the end of the chain. I know that EUNA is supposed to be at the front of the chain, but I'm trusting my ears here because I don't know all the technical side. If you ever come to this channel for technical advice, you're probably going to leave either more confused when you came in or just absolutely calling me an idiot, because I really don't know that much on a technical. It'd be like me teaching music or telling you about music theory. Like, there are other people out there that you should be listening to, not me on either side of those equations, of that equation right there, or those equations, I should say. Technical specs in music theory. I know just enough of that stuff, and I know a few broad terms. But I certainly just like to, when it comes to the technical side of things, just trust my ears. So it's like, if that EUNA sounds good at the end, we're going to leave it at the end. If it needs to be back in the beginning, we're going to put it back in the beginning of the chain there. because I'm building a big pedal board here for the summer or foreseeable future, because a lot of my stuff's going to be ampless. So I'm really, really glad to be exploring this And it's fun to do it, you know, with somewhat of an audience. I think that's really cool. We're experiencing this in real time, which I think is fun. I always say it during my Empire videos. And hop over to the Empire Music page and give that a like, give that a follow. Greatly appreciate that as well. Have a ton of bass content over there. But I always say it in those videos that it's fun to experience it in real time with you guys, and to hopefully it comes across that way. But I'm always giving an honest reaction to kind of what's happening in those videos and in the videos that I've been shooting here on my channel. So we're going to explore some signal chain stuff in this kind of part 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the P bass. I've been holding this the whole time. I just realized that. Put that down, I guess. We're going to take the P bass, the Empire 58 P bass, the white one, Olympic white with flat wound strings. We're going to go straight into the Apollo. And I just want to get an idea of what that gain is like, right? So how much signal is getting there with basically, I think, like a 4-foot cable. And then we're going to plug in a few various ways. We're going to go straight into like the HX Stomp. We're going to put the EUNA in the back. We're going to put EUNA in the front. We're going to go all cables. So probably have 20, 25 feet of cables. And then we're also going to do it with the Shure. So we're going to eliminate that initial cable from the base into there. Where do the buffers make sense? Are they having any adverse effect on the tone? Are they cleaning it up too much? Is it making it too sterile? We're going to find out. But once we get through it, I think we'll have some answers. So let's dive in. Okay, first things first. So have Empire 58 P bass in Olympic white, flat wound strings, right into the EUNA, a 4-foot cable. All right, cool. Next up, we're going to go straight in from the HX Stomp. Okay, HX Stomp, straight in. So here it is bypassed. So all we now have is a 10-foot cable, a bypassed HX Stomp, that same 4-foot cable into the Apollo. Big time difference. Looking at the audio signal, much smaller. Hearing it through my in-ears here. As I mentioned it 2 videos ago, a little boxier. It hasn't really affected the top end as much as I thought. But it has certainly affected overall volume. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to engage the HX Stomp into my clean sound, which is, I think, like a Cali 76 kind of thing. So there is going to be some boost on here. This will now remain for the rest of these examples. The audio signal is kind of back to where it was as I look at it now. So I've regained the gain, so to speak, from the HX Stomp. Whether that's buffering out, if it's just gain that I've put on it from the Cali simulator in that, whatever it is, I'm not really sure. But all I know is I'm back to a gain that I like on this on the bass there. So now, next up, we're gonna take the full signal chain now, straight in from the HX Stomp with the compressor engaged. 10-foot cable HX Stomp, 6-inch cable Astral Destiny, 6-inch cable into Boss Space Echo, 12-inch cable into the Boomerang Looper, a 10-foot cable into the EUNA, a 2-foot cable into the JHS color box. The EUNA is not on, neither is the color box at this point. That sounds good. That's awesome. If I turn that HX back off, and then re-engage it, that's really, really good. So obviously what that HX is pushing through, rock solid. Now let's engage the EUNA. I had all the switches on the EUNA engaged. I'm actually going to turn the bright off. It's brilliant. It's so good. I know the EUNA is supposed to be at the front of the signal chain. That just sounds awesome at the end. I'm sorry. I love what that does from an EQ suite perspective. It sounds incredible. Now with the color box on. Big fat signals going into the Apollo. That's excellent. That's really, really good. All right, now we're going to put the EUNA from the back. So at the end of the signal chain, we're going to put it to the very, very front of the signal chain. Okay, now EUNA at the front of the chain. Not quite as big of a signal. Still very, very acceptable though. That sounds great still. I think I like it though at the end of the chain there. I'm going to plug it back into the end. Yep, I do. I like it at the end. The buffering that I'm getting from that HX Stomp up front is plenty for me to push signal through. In that initial video that I did, like 2 videos ago, I was bypassing that through the entire thing, not realizing that at that point we're just true bypassed, and I was getting that capacitance, that tone suck was really, really happening from that when it wasn't engaged. Now engaged, whether it's just the unity gain setting on there, a buffer, the settings I have in the clean setting that I have created in that, I really, really like what I'm getting there. And I love the way that EUNA is behaving at the end of the signal chain. kind of a final signal conditioning before it hits the color box into the Apollo. Now, let's add in the two things. We're going to add the volume pedal back in, and we're going to add the Shure wireless system in there. Actually, before I do that, let's just check it out without the, am I getting anything bad happening with that volume pedal first? Signal still looks really good. I don't know if I'm faking myself out that I'm hearing something a little bit different. I'm going to take it back out of the signal chain. Oh, yeah, I am. All right, that's a thing. Yeah, it was darker. It didn't have quite the same life having that volume pedal first there. All right, back in with the volume. It's very, very slight, but there is a difference there. All right, cool. So now we're going to hope that Shure, the buffer in the Shure, gives me what I need it to do and push that signal to help eliminate a little bit of this very, very mild, but I'm being picky. Little, like, I wouldn't call it tone suck out of the volume pedal, but a little bit of tone sapping out of it. I'll also say this, I'm eliminating a 10-foot cable from this whole equation as well. So there's also that. Now I had that same 10-foot cable running into the HX Stomp, but it's not going to be present in this next setup. All right, here it is with the wireless. That's back, totally. I'm going to put the cable back in again, one more time. Then back to the wireless. Yeah, that really helps. The buffer in that wireless pushing the signal through that volume pedal, where just experienced a little bit of, again, tone sapping. We're also eliminating the capacitance of a 10-foot cable. So it's so funny. We're really getting down to splitting hairs there. I think eliminating that 10-foot cable right up front, a quality buffer that's coming out of that Shure, pumping that through the signal chain, and again, having another buffer there after that volume pedal, which I do think is important, from the HX Stomp into the EUNA, into the JHS. I think having that stuff at the end of the signal chain, I know that's not where the EUNA was really intended to be, but I love what it does to the end of the signal chain, really conditioning it, using the EQ kind of curve that it adds, which I love, onto the signal at the end, into the color box, into the Apollo. Absolutely dynamite. So we're answering the question, at least in my case, 3 known buffers at, key points in the signal chain is not too much. There's no adverse effect to the tone. It's not synthetic. It's still organic sounding. It still sounds like a P bass with flats. And I think actually it soups up at the end there with the EUNA and the color box. So as I build what I've deemed to my friends as the Starship Enterprise of pedal boards, actually it's not going to be that crazy, but it will be a pretty extensive pedal board build. And I'm really glad I'm taking the time to kind of go through this stuff and make sure that whether I'm giving it to front of house, right to in-ears, because I know a lot of my gigs this summer are going to be ampless, or to an amp, I'm not going to have signal loss. I'm conditioning it at the right points in the signal chain. So I appreciate you guys sticking with this video. I kind of calling it a series now. I guess I'm not going to call it that, but I guess it is, because this is kind of like part 2 of that boring pedals video that I did. But I appreciate you watching this, and hopefully it was, I know it's not the most informative thing, but hopefully through my experience, it might answer some questions if you're going to get into either a wireless rig, or you're just trying to plan out some buffering through the signal chain as a bassist. Trust your ears. That would be the biggest piece of advice I could give you. If you have any questions at all, I'd say leave comments, and hopefully you will, but I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of answers, because again, my brain just doesn't really go too hard into the tech side of things. But I do trust my ears, and I like everything that I'm hearing out of this. So hope you found this video at all informative, or at least taking something away, again, from my experience here. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Thanks.